Well, good morning, everybody.
Say hi.
Good
It's Uncle Harold.
Morning.
How do you like my hair?
Looking good?
Almost down to my
Extremely
40s. 18 years old.
Go ahead.
Andy, this picture of hearts is for you.
Oh. Margie, how are you?
Oh, we're good. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
So your barber couldn't come over yesterday to take care of this because of the snow. Is that your excuse and you're sticking to it?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
I have some town meetings coming up, and I just decided, oh, what the heck, let's go long.
Hi, Aunt Helene.
I don't think her audio is on.
But this was a big deal that she could join us.
She'll be right back.
If not, Scott, you're gonna have to do the Torah portion and everything.
You know, if I have the version with the vowels, I probably could do it by now with all the times we practice with.
You probably would do a great job.
You probably heard it chanted so many times.
I might make up my own chant, but I at least recognize the words.
Sarah, you
You
look
wouldn't be the first bar bat mitzvah to do that.
And it's nice to see all the learners. Haven't seen you guys in a long time.
That didn't sound
That
good.
didn't sound good.
And I see
We just heard a crash.
I just see one Melman. Do I see another? Oh, Dan's coming on.
Morning, Cantor.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Great.
We're ready.
There's
Excited?
Ernie. Hi, Ernie.
It's gonna be great.
Hi, Ernie.
Ernie's on mute.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. Thanks for coming.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisa.
Lisa,
Hi, Joe.
Good mornings.
Hey, Lisa Ann.
Hi, Harold.
Hello
Hey,
there.
Joe.
Hi, Roz. Hi, Howard. How are you? Nice to see you. It's been a long time. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
What? Did you see what that is? No.
Mr. Brodsky, how are you, sir?
Good morning. Who is that?
Harold.
Oh, hey, Harold. How are you, buddy?
Oh, good. It's a pleasure to see you again. It's been a while.
Great to see you too. Hope you're well.
I hit it. Am I on mute?
It's been a long time since we've seen anybody.
Yeah.
Hi. Nice to be seen.
That's the truth.
So we got 12 inches. It's down to 4 inches now,
Oh,
but during Super Bowl, we're supposed to get another 8.
oh my God.
So who's coming over to help me shovel?
I'll be in Maryland. Is that anywhere close?
Yeah, you'll need a long shovel, but okay.
Oh, we got to drive up through to Maryland on Wednesday.
No, I'll do
You'll be okay then. Is that you, Sarah?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
How are
Andy.
Andy is sitting while she can.
Mazel tov, Sarah.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Our pleasure.
So Uncle Steve, Kathy, how's the kitchen?
Great.
It's wonderful. We
Just
love
know what to cook for.
it. Yeah.
So it's when the pandemic, you could do your own Saturday night, vegan dinners for, folks around town.
I don't think you could hit
Yeah, for 2.
Well, who's gotten their vaccination? Anybody? Oh,
Both of them.
Ernie, Margie,
I got 1.
you got 1. Our governor's not doing such a great job.
I
Hi,
got one
Becca.
too.
Yeah.
Hi, Becca.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Tag.
Hi.
Yeah, waving you.
Say hi, Aunt Helene. Hi, Aunt Helene.
Wave.
Here's Aunt Helene. Hi, Aunt
Hi, Aunt
Helene.
Helene.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Helen. Say hi, Aunt Helen.
Let's see a big smile, Andy.
You
All
can hear
right.
them, right? Yes.
Okay, go sit down.
How do I get rid of me?
Hey, Becca.
Oh, you have to be on. So
Aunt
you
Helene,
can
you can turn your video off if you
You don't
want.
Oh, my girls.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay. So, yes,
Oh, my
yes.
girls.
Aunt Helene,
Okay,
you can
thank
mute
So
and
can
turn your
hear you,
camera
but
off.
you can see them.
You asked a question, Integra. Answer the question.
Say something and see if they can hear you.
Come on. Okay, I haven't heard how you are yet.
Everybody is welcome to unmute themselves and talk and catch up with cousins. We ask you to please be on video for the service and also to make sure that your name rename yourself so it fits who's in the room with you so people know which cousins they're talking to.
Oh, no, you didn't change your name.
Peg, your hair is long.
Oh, I haven't been to a salon in forever.
I'm catching up.
Getting there.
Not as long as Becca's, but I'll get there.
Not me and Ross.
And Ross. For those who don't know, Becca is my daughter, or Marcia's and my daughter, and Teg is her spouse. And we love them both. And as I've said to people, if I could have a second daughter, it would be Teg. And then Teg said, well, if I could have a second father. Okay, that's what she said. Becca, a lot of snow out there.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of snow. Plus Ryan and he went out there to shovel, and then we never saw him again. He came back like a week later, changed man.
All right.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Betty.
Ellen.
California.
Hello. Hi, Jason. Hi, Elliot. Hi,
Yeah.
Vic.
Wow.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi, David.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Ken.
If you talk, can they hear you? Say hello.
Hi, Ellen.
That's okay. Yeah, you better go take.
Hi, Betty and Alan.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason. Are you still in California, Jason? There you are.
Oh, really?
Stayed for today.
Jason, hi, Uncle Elliot.
Hey, Elliot.
Hi, Mike.
Hey.
Ah.
Good morning.
Hey, David. Nice to see you, guy. You're on mute.
How you doing, Harold?
I'm good, bud.
Harold, you're a Harvard hippie.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, sweetie.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Ellen.
Ooh,
Hi.
Duffy looks beautiful.
Ah, there she is.
Alan Kotzen, tilt your screen down a little bit.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
You don't need to see that much of me.
Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to keep yourselves unmuted, chat, see how you're doing. Leah, you look very nice this morning. And we'll start in a few minutes once we're sure everybody's in. We'll mute you during the service, but for now is a great time to catch up and ask those important questions like, are you still on mute?
Hi, Andy. I'm coming to you from California, very early in the morning here.
Very nice background.
Cheryl, hi, Eric.
Hi, Scott.
Actually got a from California. Thank you, everybody, for getting up early.
And then it's the second screen.
It's a lot like football though. When the games are over, the service, you have the rest of your day ahead of you.
Doesn't look like it's on.
I see you.
Hey, Elliot, how's your golf game?
Yeah, it might be, everything might be remote.
Mostly Harry.
Elliot's
You
golf
go to-
game is pretty good.
I know there's how many, does it say?
You play with him, Jason?
I did, yeah. We played 9 holes. Lost all of the golf balls. I did.
You play with unlimited mulligans?
What's that?
Any other way to play?
Play with unlimited mulligans like me and Steve do?
Jason doesn't know what a mulligan is.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
book, right, huh?
Jason, where's the wife?
No, really, he doesn't know what a mulligan is.
A do-over.
It's pretty early here. Since we're in California, but really happy to be here.
Yeah, Uncle Mikey, you know we can't see you.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hold on.
That's okay.
Yeah.
How about now?
We want everyone to feel like everybody's here.
Now we see your eyes.
How about now? I can't see me.
Now we see you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now we feel like you're here with us. Thank you.
Now a little lower.
Hi, Michelle, you snuck in.
There
We
you
just
go.
saw
See everybody?
Yeah.
I can't, yeah.
Michael, what's all that gray hair?
I'm still happy. I'm happy I still have any.
Is there a way we can get the whole screen? Everybody, what do they call it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, I know.
Yes, if you go up to the corner and tap on the view, you have a choice of the 9 dots, which is the gallery view, or you can click on leader view. Gallery view will get you everybody. Leader view will get you just the people who are speaking.
What have you done? You don't know what you're doing.
I can't see.
Then don't touch it.
All right.
It's just not off.
Uncle Mike, do you see Becca and Teg?
Yes, in fact, I was going to say something to Becca. How does it feel to have a father who's a Harvard hippie?
Now.
So good morning, everybody.
Maybe
We're going to
I
start in
hadn't
just a
noticed.
couple
He
of
never
minutes.
mentions it.
You are all welcome now to unmute yourselves and say hello and ask how cousins are doing. Don't worry, we'll mute you all before we start the service in a couple of minutes.
That's a relief.
Roz, what'd you do with Howard?
Hi.
No, we can't see you, Howard. Maybe that's good.
ATO, buenos dias.
Hi, Uncle
Hey,
Steve.
Arthur.
Can't see me because Roz has touched the damn.
I know. You have my condolences.
Thank you. You're looking good, Harry.
Thanks.
Mazel tov.
Okay, now don't touch your camera. Just sit there.
No, that's Rosalind. I didn't
No,
touch.
I was fixing it. Or
Yeah.
You just learned how to turn the light switch on.
We saw.
Hi, Coleman.
Really, this is the best part, is watching everybody figure out how Zoom works.
Ellen?
When we got our feedback from the holiday services, everybody said their favorite part was people saying, you know, am I on mute? Can you hear me? Oh, look, all that kind of stuff.
So Milford had our town meeting on Zoom. 225 people. That was quite something.
They were all on mute, right?
Oh, unless you got unmuted.
So this is what I hear from my the people I know in our local town politics, is the ability to mute people at public meetings is a total benefit of the Zoom era.
Oh, yes.
Does that go for them?
All right, everybody, we're just going to start in one moment. Just so you can still chat with each other, wish each other Shabbat Shalom. And in just a minute, we're sure everybody's in, we'll start.
Great tie, Rabbi.
Hey, David, Gina.
Thank you.
Hey, Marjorie, how are you?
Hi, we are good. How are you?
Good.
That big boy. Oh, my gosh. Oh, the other one comes in.
Oh my God, look at how big your kids are.
Oh, my gosh. Make me feel old, Marjorie.
Tomorrow.
I am old.
They are 18 and 15.
So you can say, hey, Margie, now. No, try now.
I just did. I'm not doing it a fourth time.
All right, I hope everybody's on. What we'd like you to do, you're all looking mostly pretty good on my first screen and on my second screen. On my third screen is all of you who have your videos off. I'm going to ask you if you can to turn your videos on, especially we got to keep people on the first screen with their videos on. Start 1 second, and then I'll give you all that exciting stuff. Everybody ready? Anybody have any questions? Give you about 30 seconds till I mute everybody.
Go Tampa Bay.
Can't even
Hi,
say that to the
Linda.
end of
Hi,
the service.
Richard.
All right, gonna mute everybody now. All right, welcome everyone this morning to Temple Shalom's Shabbat morning service. In Judaism, we mark the story of the Torah tells us the world was created in 6 days and God rested on the seventh. So we take that seventh day, beginning on Friday night at sundown and going through sundown on Saturday to mark the Sabbath, to celebrate creation and the Exodus from Egypt. And in some special cases, we also have the opportunity to celebrate when a member of our congregation is ready to take on the adult responsibilities of being Jewish. And that is what Andy is doing this morning as she becomes Bat Mitzvah. And because she's doing this, she's actually going to jump right in and take on those responsibilities. She's going to lead the community in prayer. She's going to chant and teach from the Torah scroll. Notice I said she's going to lead the community in prayer. Even in this strange place of Zoom, she's going to be leading. So to lead, she needs to see you. So if you can keep your names on the screen, that way she can recognize you and other people can. If you can keep your video on, because there's nothing more disconcerting than trying to lead a bunch of static images or names on the screen. And also participate. We're going to put the service up on the screen so you can read along at home. You'll be on mute, but spiritually we'll be able to hear you and we'll definitely be able to see you participate. The nice part about being on Zoom is you can whisper to anybody in the congregation without disturbing anyone else if you use the private chat. Now, this is very important. We're going to start off with the chat open, but if it gets crazy, we're going to turn it off. We don't want you, please do not chat to everyone. You'll see if you go to the chat, there's a little pull down bar. Don't chat to everyone because then it pops up on Andy's screen and it's disturbing to her leading the service. But if you want to chat to someone else, you can do that to your heart's content. No one else can hear you whispering, so it makes life easier for all of us. There will be a couple of times during the service when we'll want you to kind of share and chat with everyone, when we'll ask you to come off mute, give your wishes of a mazel tov, so you will get the opportunity to participate then as well. So that's enough about the kind of Zoom and all of those things with our service. Now I'm going to turn you over to our cantor.
Shabbat Shalom. It is really wonderful to be gathered this morning to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate Andy as well. Throughout the morning, we are going to have a good amount of music, and the music plays an important role in our service because, for one thing, it's one of the ways that Andy is bringing herself into the service this morning. She has chosen all of the melodies, and so as we go through the service, we can be thinking about how those melodies enhance our experience of the service, how they help guide us through the prayers, through the mood of the service and the moods of the prayers. The music is also a way that helps us bring ourselves into the service. And we do that by joining in the music. And I know it might feel a little funny to be doing that, if you're in a room by yourself or just with one or a few other people, it might feel a little odd to start singing out loud, but I really encourage you to do so for a few reasons. One is that it's one of the best ways that we can support Andy this morning, even though she won't be able to hear you. Just by seeing your mouths moving, for all of us, helps us feel connected, helps us feel like we are really doing this together. We are in this service, we are worshiping together. And for your own experience, by participating in that way, it helps It can help each of us feel less like we're just sitting passively watching something on a screen, but really that we're actively participating and connecting with the service. And so I invite you and I urge you, I plead and beg with you, please do sing along. Some of the melodies may be familiar to you, in which case that's great, it makes it easy. Some melodies may be new, in which case don't worry about getting the notes wrong. Just sing, just bring your voice into it. And if you feel more comfortable singing on la or humming along rather than the words, that's okay too. Join in however you feel comfortable. Let's warm up a little bit. I'd like to teach you one of the songs, the melodies of one of the prayers we'll be singing this morning. Rabbi, if you wouldn't mind bringing up Ashrei for us. Ashrei will come a little bit into our service. We've got some Hebrew, we've got some English. The words are Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yahalalucha Sela. And I'm just changing my settings so that I can, now I can see you all. Good, that's so much better. Here's how it starts. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha. Let's try that. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha. Next part is Od Yehalelucha Sela. Let's try that. Od Yehalelucha Sela. That's all the Hebrew. It happens twice. Let's give it a try. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Sela. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Sela. And then we go to the English, which starts like this. Happy are we who dwell in this place. Happy are we who share this space. Let's try that. Happy are we who dwell in this place. Happy are we who share this space. Good, and then it finishes up. Happy are we who walk in your ways. Let us sing your praise. Happy are we who walk in your ways. Happy are we who walk in your ways. Let us sing your praise. That's the whole thing. We go back to the Hebrew. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Sela. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Sela. Happy are we who dwell in this place. Happy are we who share this space. Happy are we who walk in your ways. Let us sing your praise. I love seeing you singing. If you haven't tried it yet, try it this last time with me. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Sela. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Sela.
All right. So we are prepared with our words and our music. We're almost ready to start together. One of the traditions in Judaism is to wear special prayer garments, perhaps a kippah, a yarmulke, and or a talit, a prayer shawl. And one of the traditions is that the first time that a person puts on that talit is when they celebrate becoming bar or bat mitzvah. So this morning, Andy is going to put on her talit for the first time. She is going to be joined by her sister Ava. They're going to show you before they start, they have these very nice talit cases, which were made by their grandmother, Marcia Lerner. And she made them very lovingly herself for the grandchildren to use when they became bat mitzvah. We're also going to bring up Noah Lieberman. Our tradition in the temple, as members of the class become bar and bat mitzvah, they join our talit club, and they are privileged to put on talitot. So as we add a new person to that club, we bring them together. So now if you want to stand up, hold your talit in front of you. We'll say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu lehitatef batzitzit. All right, thank you, Noah. Congratulations, congratulations, Andy, who is now ready to lead us in worship. We're going to start our service this morning with a song. There we go. We're going to start our service this morning with a prayer actually written by someone who was not Jewish. The story goes that he was called upon by his king to curse the Israelite people. But instead of being able to curse the Israelite people, he looked out over their tents and admitted and then said words of blessing. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. And so if you take a moment now and you look across the screen, not only do you see the wonderful talit that Andy is wearing, the beautiful talit that Ava put on, the wonderful talit bags. Look at the beautiful things, all the living rooms, family rooms, dining rooms, dens, where everyone is across the world and the country who have come to join us, and say what a beautiful space is that we create together as we sing Ma Tovu.
We continue with Elohai Nishama.
Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehora tehorahi.
When the rabbis of old put together the worship service, they knew that sometimes we might wake up and take for granted, forget to give thanks for all of the things that we have and do not perhaps take time to appreciate. The fact that we have a roof over our heads, a bed to sleep in, food to eat, and clothing to wear. So into the morning service and the morning blessings, they place this prayer, the Nisim B'chol Yom, a chance for us to give thanks for all the things we sometimes take for granted, and a reminder that we too have a part in bringing these things into the world.
We'll chant these blessings in Hebrew and in the second line of English, and we'll use a melody that will stretch out for blessings such as the first one, which have more words, and we'll condense it for many of the other blessings in this prayer, which are a bit shorter. And our melody sounds like this. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vivina, lehavchin ben yom uvein laila. You have implanted mind and instinct in every living being. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. You open the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. You provide clothing for the naked. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. You bring freedom to the captive. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. You lift up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. You strengthen our steps. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten laya'ef koach. You give strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir shena me'enai, utnuma me'afapai. You remove sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'asani b'tselem Elohim. You have made me in the divine image. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'asani b'cherut. You created me in freedom. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'asani Yisrael. You have made me of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura. You gird our people Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael betifara. You crown Israel with glory.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. You gave us families to love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzorki. You have created for all my needs.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asuk b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, Holy Spirit of the universe, who makes us holy through mitzvot and commands us to interact with the words of Torah. For my study text, I chose Pirkei Avot, chapter 1, Mishnah 14. Hillel used to say, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am not myself alone, then what am I? And if not now, when? I chose this because I think it is important to be yourself and not something you are not. What you do should only matter to you and no one else. But you don't want to be caring about yourself too much to the point where you're being selfish.
Now, again, when the rabbis put together the service that we do each morning, they realize that sometimes it takes a little bit of effort, a little energy, a little bit of time to move from being asleep to being awake. And so into this service, they added the Psukei de Zimra. First, the blessings we just did and the morning blessings are a little slower, a chance to give us to wake up. But now the Psukei de Zimra, the Psalms of Praise, a chance for us to give more general celebration and praise of God and be a little more awake and a little more lively. And since we've all learned this, we're ready to sing together.
With more words of praise, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
you shall always be praised. Blessed are you, ruler of wonders, crowned in love, delighted in song, eternal majesty.
Baruch atah Adonai, El melech gadol batishbachot, El hahodaot, Adon haniflaot, Habocher b'shirei zimra, Melech elchei haolamim.
You are welcome to rise and face the east or the ark on the screen as we continue with the Barahu. Barahu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Each thing that God creates, God renews each day with love and care. Through God's light we understand the plan and wonder of this world which we all God who makes the sunshine and stars flow, you renew the cycle of creation day by day, giving light to our minds and our eyes, time after time with the dawn of each new day, time after time with the dawn of each new day. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot.
Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of light.
In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teachings. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age we add our wisdom to which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love.
We continue with the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai
Eloheinu, Adonai
Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. יה לה לה לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. יה לה לה לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 ला לה לה, 야 לה 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 לה, 야 ला לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 לה, Ya la 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 la. Sur Yisrael, Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Ufedechinu Mecha, Yehuda veYisrael. Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
You can rise and face the east or the arc on the screen as we continue with the tefillah. Adonai, open it for the Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanuram, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'kanei Hakol, V'zodet Nafsei Abel V'imahot, V'viki Gila Livnei B'neihem, V'mashemo V'yahavta, Melech Hoser U'Mashiach U'Magi, Baruch atah Adonai, Mani Avraham, Yitzhak Sarah.
Ata gibor leolam Adonai, Michaye hakol ata, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofe holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishene afar. Micha mocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue with Yismahu.
ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם יספרו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim Anak Nulah.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
Modim Anak Nulah.
For the joy of human life, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Modim Anak Nulah. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim Anak Nulah.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
Modim Anak Nulah.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim Anak Nulah.
For life on earth and everything that helps living things stay alive.
Modim Anak Nulah.
We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
We continue with Sim Shalom.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, barchinu avinu kulanu kechad, ve'or panecha. Ki ve'or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torat chayim ve'ahavat chesed, ve'ahavat chesed, utzedaka uvracha ve'rachamim, ve'chayim ve'shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, v'tov beinecha, levarech et amcha Yisrael, bechol eit u'bechol shah, bishlomecha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo, Yisrael b'shalom.
We continue in silent prayer.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen.
We continue now with Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for reading the Torah. Now, in tradition of how the Torah was passed from generation to generation, from Moses to Joshua, until it reaches us today, we are going to symbolically invite up Andy's grandparents, Harry Lerner, Steve and Kathy Rhodes, from where they are at their home. And they are going to symbolically pass the Torah to Andy's parents, Scott and Sarah Lerner, who will pass the actual Torah to Andy, who will receive it as she becomes a bat mitzvah this morning. Steve and Kathy, if you want to unmute yourself and read with Harry.
This scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope.
Freedom
is its gift to all who treasure it.
Ki mitzion teitze Torah, ki mitzion teitze Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Lamo Yisrael B'Kdushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Unerumema Shemo Yachdav.
Now we invite up Andy's sister Ava to undress the Torah.
Hallelujah,
All right, thank you to Andy's parents and sister. Now, Andy, if you want to read your intro, well, before we do that, actually, if you want to hold up the wimple, it is a tradition among Ashkenazic Jews to create what's called a wimple. Take a cloth to wrap a child in when they are welcomed into the covenant, usually at 8 days old. To save that cloth, to decorate it, to wrap the Torah when they celebrate becoming bar or bat mitzvah, and also to when they are before a wedding or other happy occasions. So our tradition at the temple is each member of the class creates a square, which Andy has so well showed everyone all of those squares. Her square is right there in the center with her Hebrew name. And she is going to wrap the Torah in this wimple, which is now the second time we've used it. Andy's the second of our students in this class to become bar or bat mitzvah. And we wrap the Torah in that as she prepares to read from it upon becoming a bat mitzvah. If you'd like to introduce your Torah portion, Andy.
My Torah portion is the 10 Commandments from the book of Exodus. I'll be reading from chapter 20, verse 2 to 13. The 10 Commandments are the laws that God gave the Israelites to follow.
Now we bring up for the honor of the first Aliyah, Andy's grandfather, Harry Lerner, and her aunt and uncle, Leah and Dave Lanton, and cousins Zachary and Emily Lanton. Nala mod Shvi Yosef mi beit Yehuda Lev v'Chaya Reza v'Leba Chana mi beit Shvi Yosef u'Malka Leah v'David mi beit Shlomo Zemel v'Zelda Brocha v'Zacharia Chaim mi beit David v'Leba Chana v'Chava Hinda mi beit David Leva v'Chana v'David v'Leba Chana la'aliyah l'Torah. You're muted, Harry. There you go. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Baruch Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Toraso. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Anohi, Adonai, Elohecha, Asher, Hotzeiticha, Me'eret, Mitzrayim, Mibeit, Avadim, Lo, Hihyeh, Lecha, Elohim, Arariim, al panai lo ta'aseh lacha beso v'kotamona asher b'shamayim mimo ba'asher ba'aretz mitahat ba'asher b'mayim mitahat la'aretz.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. You guys, before you meet yourself again, you can give her a mazel tov. You can give her a little air hug.
Blow Andy kisses. Tell her mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Andy.
Air hug. And thank you for our second Yashar Koachem to you. For our second Aliyah, we invite up Andy's grandparents, Steve and Kathy Rhodes, and Aunt Marjorie Rhodes. Nala mod Shaya mi beit Roland ve'Eleanor, ve'Kayla mi beit Meir ve'Sasi, ve'Miriam mi beit Shea ve'Kayla la'aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bacharbanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo chishtahave lahem valo ta'udim ki anohi Adonai Elohecha al hana hokein lama alacha v'hadarecha al shal bayo biba lasana v'chused hesed la'alafim lahovai o shomrei mitzvotai lo tisa et shem Adonai Elohecha lashana ki lo yeneket Adonai et asher bisa et shama lashav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Shar Kochachem.
Mazel Tov, Andy. We love you.
And now for the third Aliyah, we invite up Andy's parents, Scott and Sarah Lerner, and her sister Ava. Nalamod Yisrael Aryeh mi beit Tzvi Yosef u'Malka Leah v'Sasi Sarah mi beit Shaya v'Kela v'Hindel Rachel mi beit Yisrael Aryeh v'Sasi Sarah la'aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacharbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Zahor et Yom HaShabbat HaKadeshehu Sheshet Yamim Ta'avod Ve'asita Kol Melaktecha Vayom HaShivi Shabbat L'Adonai Elohecha La tisa kol melaka ata uvicha uvintecha avdecha bagerecha uvametecha bagerecha asher bisharecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yishar Kochachem. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, we mark that Andy has become a bat mitzvah as she is called to the Torah by her Hebrew name.
Nalamod, 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 nalamod. Chayarea mi beit Yisrael Aryeh v'Sasi Sarah bat hamitzvah lichvod haTorah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvara.
Baruch Adonai le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Before you start, Andy, you want to hold up the yod you're using? So this yod is the yod that Sarah received for her bat mitzvah, Ava used when she read, and which Andy is using now.
Ki she'yamim asa Adonai et hashamo ba'et haaretz et ham ba'et kol asher bam haya bare ha'ashai alkein barecha Adonai et Vayom HaShabbat V'kedeshehu kabed et avicha ve'et imecha lema'an ya'arehu yameha ahadema'a asher Adonai Elohecha noten la lo titzecha lo tina lo tineb lo tinata bare echa et shaker.
Now we invite up Andy's sister Ava to read the translation of her Torah portion.
I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods besides me. You shall not make for yourself a sculptured image or any likeness of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, Adonai, your God, am an impassioned God, visiting the guilt of the parents upon the children, upon the third and upon the fourth generations of those who reject me, but showing kindness to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not swear falsely by the name of Adonai your God, for Adonai will not clear one who swears falsely by God's name. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of Adonai your God. You shall not do any work. You, your son or daughter, your male or female slave, or your cattle, or the stranger who is within your settlements. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth and sea, and all that is in them. And God rested on the 7th day. Therefore Adonai blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that you may long endure on the land that Adonai your God is assigning to you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam matan b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So you may have heard the crinkling there in the background. The family is gathering up candy. There's a tradition now to take a moment to congratulate Andy, to make this a sweet moment. So if you got a little package of candy, I've got mine here. You can throw it gently at your screen. You won't have to worry about hitting her like we would in the sanctuary. But when you do that, you also have to unmute yourself and sing. Let the cantor lead. The words of half the song are Siman Tov U'Mazel Tov. When the cantor starts off, you can unmute yourself, join the family in showering Andy with sweetness and candy.
I gotta go on. Let me throw this.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov,
Mazel tov and Siman tov. Hey, Lanu.
Mazel tov.
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 Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
We did not.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Eitz chaim hi lama chazikim ba. Oh, I was so excited by all the mazel tovs. I got ahead of myself. Let's lift the Torah.
All right, now we invite up Scott Lerner, who helps the rabbis not on mute. We invite up, can't heard me. We invite up Andy's father, Scott Lerner, to lift the Torah, and her sister, Ava, to dress the Torah as we rise to put the Torah back into the ark.
V'zot haTorah asher sa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yalai lai lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Eitz chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomecheha meushar deracheha darchei noam v'chon netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
You may be seated.
My Torah portion is the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are the laws and rules that God gave the Israelites to follow. Some examples of the commandments are, you should not believe in more than one God, and you should not steal. God gave the Israelites these rules, but never said anything bad would happen if they didn't follow them. God trusted the Jews to follow the Ten Commandments. I think God gave the Israelites the Ten Commandments to see what they would do. Would they follow them, or would the Israelites just ignore them? The Ten Commandments aren't something hard to follow. They're common sense for most people. God wanted the Israelites to trust the Ten Commandments and to trust God, just like how God trusted the Ten Commandments and the Israelites to follow them. Even though it's been thousands of years since the Israelites were given the Ten Commandments, we should still follow them. For example, one of the Ten Commandments is to honor your mother and father. I try to help around the house when I can, even if it's not as much as I should be helping. I still want to do something like empty the dishwasher or clean up after dinner so they don't have to. While COVID has been hard for all of us, I am glad I have had more time at home with my parents and sister. During the pandemic, I have been able to learn what becoming a bat mitzvah means to me. To become a bat mitzvah means to help others, trying to be a good person, and trying to follow the 10 Commandments. For my bat mitzvah project, I sent out handmade birthday cards to kids and adults from all over the country who couldn't celebrate their birthdays with friends due to the pandemic. I raised money so I could include an Amazon gift certificate with each card. I raised so much money that I could also be able to donate meals to local hospitals and make a donation to the World Health Organization. I helped to put smiles on faces of kids and adults who knew they weren't going to be able to celebrate this year. It felt good knowing this small gesture made a big difference to people I know and to complete strangers around the country. After everything I have learned, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the support along the way. I would first like to thank my grandparents for cheering me on every step of the way and for my grandma doing crafts with me virtually. I would like to thank my sister for doing fun things with me during quarantine and not getting bored of me, even though I may have been annoying at times. I would like to thank my friends for talking with me online and playing online games together during this time. I would like to thank my Girl Scout troop for teaching me so much about being a Girl Scout and what it means. I would like to thank the rabbi and the cantor for helping and teaching me everything I needed to know for my bat mitzvah. And I would also like to thank my parents for helping and supporting me along the way. They have been my cheerleaders since the very beginning, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them.
You're on mute, Rabbi.
Andy, your portion is probably one of the most famous parts of the Torah. But while many people know of the 10 Commandments and think they are important and even claim to follow them, not everyone could tell you what they are, or much less explain how they come to be a part of the Jewish story or what they really mean. In your sermon, you looked not only at the 10 Commandments, but also thought about why this moment is so important in our history. You imagine what it might be like for God and the newly freed Jewish people to begin to enter into a relationship. That relationship needed a structure and rules, but it also relied on trust. As you said, giving the 10 Commandments was only the first part. Both God and our ancestors had to figure out what it meant to follow them and how that would structure a relationship that lasted for millennia, that has lasted for millennia. As a bat mitzvah, you are taking on the responsibility of these commandments and all the mitzvot. We trust that you will find meaning in them and follow them in the way that you find most appropriate. How do we know this? Because you have already done so by your choice of a mitzvah project. A little later in the Torah, we are commanded to love our neighbors as ourselves. You imagine how others might be feeling in a COVID quarantine, who might be missing the special moment of a birthday party. Then you gathered the resources from friends and family and provided a special birthday treat for children and adults all over the country. There will be many lifelong memories of this period in our lives and stories that people will tell their grandchildren. A few of those stories will be about the surprise birthday package that they received from a bat mitzvah student in New Jersey. Andy, as you continue your Jewish journey through confirmation and beyond, we know that you will carry these lessons with you. Not only the explicit lessons of the 10 Commandments, but the idea of what it means to be part of a community that struggles with what it means to stay in covenant with the divine. As you've shown us today and up to today, we know that you will take that seriously, and we look forward to being on that journey with you, from this moment at Sinai into the future that you will create, a better world for all of us. And now we invite up past president of the congregation, Karen Weingarten, to make a presentation on behalf of the temple. Let's spotlight Andy too. And Andy, if you want to get the bag out with the gifts in it.
It's almost like I'm handing it to you directly.
Andy, mazel tov to you. What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful job you've done. And it's not just about today, but what a beautiful job you've done in general with you, your choices and your activities and your love for everybody. Mazel tov to your family, your sister, the Lerner and Rhodes grandparents. I know it's a very exciting day and it's hard not to be able to hug in person. And I really do miss seeing you in person, Andy. Every time I see you, you have a smile. Maybe you have a little bit of an eye roll occasionally if you're waiting for your parents to hurry up and leave the temple or something, but you always have a smile. And I miss seeing it in person, but it's been wonderful to see it today. It's truly an honor for me to represent the temple and the Board of Trustees and be here for you today. I'm a big fan of Andyland before it was even called Andyland, let me tell you, okay? Wonderful, wonderful theme. So in Andyland, whether it's virtual or in person, you have family, you have friends, you have smiles, laughter, sweetness, and love. And those are all things that I think about when I think about you and your family. You have a love for family and friends like nothing else. Whether those people are four-legged or two-legged, animals or adults, it's okay. You love the arts, you are creative, you're very insightful, thoughtful, and expressive. And I hope that those things carry you through life and only become more and more developed and inspiring to you as you go. I'm really touched and honored to have been asked to do this for your family. You guys are very, very special to me and my family. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees and Temple Shalom, in that bag there, you have a Kiddush cup, you have your own copy of the Bible, and you have a certificate for a membership to the JCC. And I know that you will use all three very well and very much in your future, which I know is going to be amazing. And when Andyland opens up to the public in person, please let me know. I definitely want to come see you. Mazel tov, and thank you again for letting me do this.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Now we invite up Andy's parents, Scott and Sarah, to share a blessing with her.
Andy, you are done. And you did a beautiful job. And I'm so proud of you. You worked really hard to get here. I said I wasn't going to cry. And it was all paid off. You want to know something funny? I started to write this speech 3 years ago. You were sleeping over at Sidney Klein's house, and Dad and I were driving home from dinner in a snowstorm, and it just kind of came to me. I hadn't written or even thought about my parents' speech for Ava's bat mitzvah yet. And of course, that means I also wrote the theme of this speech 3 years before you selected your study text of, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am for myself alone, then what am I? You see, in 4th grade, you had to hold up some sort of motivational sign or positive affirmation in your variety show performance. Completely on your own, you chose be you. It resonated with me. And obviously, it is a phrase that is very meaningful to you too, even 3 years later. Who knew that the best advice I would receive would be from my 10-year-old? To this day, I don't know where you heard that or what made you say it, but it stuck with me, inspired me, and I have used your advice many times since then. I hope that this mantra is a guide in your life that continues to stick with you as you grow up, explore new things, go to college and beyond, and follow your dreams. And Andy, this is something you have always done. You have always marched to the beat of your own drum. You have always known how to be you. From a very young age, you have known exactly what you wanted, and you were never afraid to communicate that. Demand it, go after it. Like when you were 6 months old and we started feeding you solid foods, you refused to sit in a high chair to eat. You wanted to sit at a booster seat at the table with the family right away. And you never once sat in that high chair. And there was no learning to walk for you. You were 11 months old. We were in Michigan visiting Grandma and Grandpa. And one day you just stood up and walked across the room. Or when you were 18 months old and I put you to bed in your crib, but you really, really, really wanted one more story. Well, you figured out how to climb out of your crib, find a book, and run into my room telling me, I am not in bed anymore. You can read me a story now. Or when you were barely 4 and you decided it was time for you to do the monkey bars at the park and tie your shoes all by yourself. So you did. Your friends weren't doing these things yet, but you decided to. You have never been afraid to be you. You don't compare yourself to others. You know that life isn't a race or a competition. We can all win when we do what is important to us. In elementary school, you played with different kids at recess every day, depending on who was doing the activity that you wanted to do. You have always stuck with activities that interested you, like soccer, Girl Scouts, musical theater, or anything that allows you to express yourself creatively, and decided not to pursue activities that didn't interest you, no matter what your friends did. You make friends everywhere you go. I have loved to see your creative side flourish over the years. You can envision creative projects I never could and turn them into reality, somehow knowing just how to do them. It blows my mind every time. From your arts and crafts, drawing and painting, hairstyles, everyday makeup and stage makeup, to fashion design. There was a year in preschool where every single day you came home with another handbag that you had made and designed out of construction paper. We also made handbags, clothes, sleeping bags for stuffed animals, and much more out of felt at home. You've made several shirts of all different materials for yourself that turn out so well, no one would know you didn't buy them at a store. Of course, you've always had your own fashion sense, like when you were 2.5 and you asked me for high heels. I asked you where you could possibly be going in high heels, as you weren't allowed to wear them to school or to camp. And you told me in no uncertain terms that you would wear them when we went shopping and when we went out to lunch. Or when a few months later, I told you that we needed to get you some shorts for camp that you could wear with your required camp shirts. And you once again told me without a doubt, Mom, I do not wear shorts. I only wear dresses and skirts. I have also loved to see you grow as an athlete and a soccer player. When given the opportunity, you were so excited to play on 2 soccer teams because that meant you got to play both striker and goalie more. And for a few years, you have been on that soccer field almost every day of the week during the fall and spring seasons. You have an amazing love for animals, from an obsession with bunnies, stuffed and alive, to your love for dogs and how good you are with Casey. You always choose to support charities that help animals. I'm not sure that without your persuasive essay from 3rd grade, we would have gotten another dog. But you knew just what to say and how to convince me. You even told us in that essay that her name would be Casey. You've faced challenges in your 13 years that most kids don't have to deal with. They've been frustrating at times for sure, for you, for me, for Dad. But you've walked through those challenges with your head held high, ready to fight, to do what you have to do, put in the work, and get through it. You've taught me lessons on grit and how to handle things gracefully when they don't go your way or when you have to deal with something tough. We might need to yell and scream for a minute. But then you turn on that determination and do what needs to be done. These challenges have also taught you to advocate for yourself. One thing I hear your teachers say most often, which makes me so proud, is that Andy always speaks up and advocates for herself if she needs or has a question. That isn't easy to do in elementary school or in middle school, and it's even harder in the virtual world that we are living in now. But you take advantages of opportunities that are presented to you and aren't afraid to speak up for yourself and what you need. Of course, one of the biggest challenges we have all faced in staying safe and healthy and sane is staying safe, healthy, and sane over the past 11 months. You haven't just survived through this time, you have thrived. While at-home learning over Google Meet may not be ideal, you have made it work for you, earning high honor roll, advocating for yourself, developing relationships with your teachers, even just online, when it could be so easy to sit back and hide. You have made new friendships during this time, found your crew, your people, your support. You spend hours online with them, watching movies, making TikToks, doing hair and makeup together, baking and trying new recipes, doing arts and crafts, and even reading Harry Potter and discussing it together in a book club. And of course, you studied for your bat mitzvah and met with the rabbi and the cantor online as well. As you become a bat mitzvah today, Dad and I could not be more proud of the young woman you are becoming. Continue to chase your dreams with conviction. Continue to explore your creativity. Continue to advocate for yourself and what you need. Continue to work hard for everything you want in life, and I have no doubt you will achieve it. Keep on being you. We love you so much.
Now, Andy, if you want to take out, there's a colorful certificate in the bag. That's the one. So it is my pleasure on behalf of the Reform Movement, the Union for Reform Judaism, and its youth arm, North American Federation of Temple Youth, present you with this certificate toward a trip to Israel. We hope the time comes when you are able to travel again, maybe in a summer program or a semester, to travel and meet our family there in Israel. Also, I'd like you to hold up your the blue certificate, your 2. Bat Mitzvah, which you signed before we began earlier today. You want to read that?
In becoming a Bat Mitzvah, has accepted the privileges and responsibilities of being a Jew. Lifelong Torah study and the keeping of mitzvot, Shabbat, holy day, and life cycle observances, participation in the life of the synagogue, the Jewish community, and Israel. The dedication to Tikkun Olam, the perfection of our world.
Excellent. So now we're going to take a moment where we have something for the rest of you to do. Andy is going to receive private blessings from the cantor and myself. So she's going to mute herself. We'll bring some music up on the screen. And if we would like you at this moment, take some time to go into the chat and type a word of blessing yourself to Andy. We will save these and share them with the family afterward. So this is your moment to share blessings in the chat with Andy.
May your eyes shine with the light of Torah, and your face be radiant as the brightness of the sky. May your lips speak words of wisdom, and may the world you live in be the world of your dreams. May you see your world created in your lifetime. May you see your visions come to be. May your hope touch every generation to come. These are the prayers we have for you. May you be blessed with understanding, with wisdom and compassion in your heart. May your tongue be filled with song and your lips sing out for justice. These are the prayers we have for you. May your eyes shine with the light of Torah, and your face be radiant as the brightness of the sky. May your lips speak words of wisdom, and may this world you live in be the world of your dreams.
And now it's my turn. Now we ask for the traditional blessing that God said in the book of Numbers, "When the time comes to place my name upon the people, this is the blessing to give." May God bless you. May the light of God shine for you and be great. May God turn God's face and give you a blessing of wholeness and peace. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
Our service continues with the Aleinu. And you can rise and face the ark.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latit gdula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kiguye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot adama, shelo samchelkinu kahem, vigor alinu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה Bayom hahu, Yihye Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo echad.
We take a moment now, as we do in every service, to remember those who have come before, those whose lives have been such an influence on us as we carry on our lives today. In the congregation, we remember those in the period of Shloshim, Louise Levine, the mother of Janice Rubin, as well as those whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat. Lisa Aiden, Solomon Barishman, Joseph Beck, Mary Berman, Sarah Bieda, Gertrude Blank, Harry Blitzer, Doris Perez, Jacob Breen, Sydney Breen, Peggy Brown, Barbara Danziger, Alta Dubkin, Murray Genazer, Abraham David Glass, Perry Goldfeder, Herbert Abraham Goldstein, Barry Golan, Gerson Gordon, Carl Gordon, Jack Greenspan, Annalie Hertzberg, Lillian Keshen, Clara Ray Kirschenbaum, Harold Kravitz, Fanny Lagstein, Xenia Laufer, Clara Lifson, Sadie Bahar Marty, Susan McCormick, Brad Menkes, Joel Messing, Joseph Muma, Max Nathanson, Lena Pearl, Jeanette Papel, Louise Rosen, Kalman Rothberg, Louis Rubin, Bernard Sass, Ann Schwartz, Harry Taub, Ray Balaban Verbel, Al Vogel, Marie Webb, Gertrude Wiseman, and present here in hearts, as well as through the wonderful Tully tote bags that she created, we remember Andy's grandmother, Marcia Lerner. In their memory, in the memory of all those in our hearts, all those who have no one to say the Kaddish for them, all those victims of illness in our country and across the world, we rise now as a congregation to recite the Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulolmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. V'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran b'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yal kol yoshvei tevel, v'yamru, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn. And give us the strength to comfort those who are bereaved. And we say, Amen. You may be seated. So, had we been able to be in person, it would be a little bit different of a celebration we would be planning for this afternoon. In fact, Still on the temple calendar that the temple is reserved for pizza and a henna tattoo and a photo booth and all sorts of exciting things like that. So we look forward to the moment when we're going to get to celebrate with Andy and all of those things. But there's still a little bit of a moment for celebration here. We have some cookies and we have a challah and kiddush there at Andy's house. And the family has asked Andy's cousins, Ross and Jessica Melman, to lead us in the kiddush and motzi so we can join in the celebration ourselves.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
L'chaim. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. B'te'avon. Oh, that was cute.
Like newlyweds.
All right, and now for our closing song, we have a very special treat for you, a duet by Andy's sister Ava and her grandfather.
Shalom Aleinu.
Yo shalom aleinu. Yo shalom aleinu.
Thank you, Steve, and to Ava for that. Those of you who wish, you can rise. We have been given a double example this morning. An example not only of how to take on the responsibilities of the mitzvot, how to become an adult in Judaism, but also how to take those mitzvot and interpret them for our own lives, how to live by them and not just listen to them and know them. The strength to live up to that example, both of those examples, we ask for your blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May the light of God shine for you and be gracious to you. And may God turn God's face to you and give you a blessing of wholeness and peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov to Andy and her family. You can unspotlight us and you can unmute yourselves and give whatever greeting you want to Andy and to her family.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel
Mazel tov.
tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov to everybody. Okay. That was tough.
It looks just like a shame.
Aaron, how are you? Ollie.
Hey, good to see you
Mazel
guys.
tov. Mazel
Mazel
tov.
Up to all of us. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you